Hey, so today is day 4, and today I did have a better day. So, what that means is today I did some physical therapy and some occupational therapy. Now, occupational therapy is just stuff that you do around the house: cleaning, cooking, showering, junk like that. So, I did that. This is Leo. This is the wonderful Leo. 4 cats and 1 dog, and he's nosy, so here he is. I'm on the floor because it's more comfortable than sitting in a chair. Physical therapy, it's like exercise, but it's exercise if you have to have physical therapy. Like, I have to do physical therapy, so it feels like exercise. I used to be, and I hate talking about stuff I used to be able to do because I know I'll be able to do that stuff again, but for example, the Bosu ball today, I was on the Bosu and I couldn't really balance for that long when I remember holding a squat for at least 1 minute, and today it's just like trying to stand on it for 20 to 30 seconds. So, but anyway, that is my day today. So, went to the doctor, like I said, yesterday. So, yesterday's video is really short because it was a rest day. Instead of a bad day, it was a rest day. And I still did the video because it's like still showing up to therapy when you don't really want to go, but you go, and then you try to get the therapist to start talking about how, their life, their weekend, what they have going on. So that's what yesterday was. If I was at the therapist's office, I would have been talking about getting them to tell me about their family and what's this picture and where'd you go to school, so I could talk less and just be there because I knew I needed to be there. So, but also clarify a couple of things, so that was good. Doctor's appointment, and I don't like going to the doctor that much. It usually causes some anxiety lately. Anytime I go see the neurologist, there's a little bit of anxiety because it's not like a regular doctor. I'm not going for a checkup, sort of like an MS checkup. But anyway, this time it was, Hillary, you went back to work too soon. You can drive only 10-mile radius around your house and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, I went back to work too soon, but, what am I supposed to do? And it was because I'm not putting enough emphasis on the physical therapy, occupational therapy, just getting myself better because I need to get myself better, right? I don't want to end up in the same situation I was before. And it was a really, serious situation where I was, in a hospital and acute rehab for 3 weeks. So, okay, I get it, but not going back to work, what does that even look like? I like my job, and I'm a contract employee, but I do have health benefits. And it's just like doctors say these things without thinking about the repercussions of those things that they say. I had to sit up. This cat is just like driving me crazy right now. So, but yeah, it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do, I have to figure out physical therapy, occupational therapy, and work. So he writes me this note, but his note says, no work for 4 weeks. And again, who cannot work for 4 weeks? Some people can. Maybe there's short-term disability at some jobs, not mine. But he got my shirt all wet. This crazy cat. Anyway. But, not my job. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna get back down on the floor. He's gone for a minute. So yeah, we'll get back down here. So it's just like, okay, what job can you do? Can you not work for 4 months? So, just trying to figure all that out. And I hate that initial feeling of being overwhelmed by the thought of trying to come up with a work schedule, PT schedule, OT schedule, and trying to keep my job and, continue the life to which I've become accustomed. So I think it's just trying to, that stuff stays in the back of your mind, even though you may not feel like it. I know it's in the back of my mind, just trying to figure all that out, and nobody can figure it out but me. I can talk to other people about it, but still, what works best for me, right? What works best for me? And so that is just something I have to figure out. And I know he's just really concerned, and I don't actually have to do it, right? And I think we forget sometimes that the doctors and people that we see really work for us, we're paying them to take care of us, but we're paying them, and without us, they would not have a job. So we do have to remember that. And I'm a really big advocate for myself at the doctor's office. I do not let them just tell me what to do, nor do I let them dictate, a lot of the stuff I have going on. So, for example, I had this liver issue earlier this year, and I go see this doctor, and she's telling me, well, it is pretty bad, but what we'll do is we'll do this, and then we'll monitor it, and then come back in 4 weeks, and we'll do the test. No, we do the test today. Well, I'm not coming back in 4 weeks if you're not even going to do the test, stuff like that. It's just like, come on, are you freaking kidding me? Try not to curse that much on here, but I just couldn't believe it, It's just like, come on, why are you, why? It doesn't even make any sense to me, So, man, we just have to be advocates for ourselves. I know it can be intimidating because we think that they think they know everything. They do think they know everything, but they don't know everything. It's guesswork, a lot of it. And yes, they do come across times where, yes, they know stuff because they've seen it numerous times, but there's also things they haven't seen and they're guessing. But anyway, just be an advocate for yourself. That's all I'm saying. So, I took his note and his advice. So, what of course I'm going to do is make it work for me. And once I schedule all that stuff, then I will create. I shouldn't say this on here, but once I schedule all that stuff, I can stretch while I'm down here too. So it's great. It's like stretching, and it's like, still getting some calming going. I'm not a big yoga person. It's like, I shouldn't say that on here, but I like yoga, but it's just like for stretching, I don't know. I just want it to be easier than it is when I get in there. My exercise is boxing, which of course I can't do right now. Anyway, so yes, I advocate for myself all the time. So I just think that, in every realm of our lives, we have to advocate for ourselves. People will try to take advantage. Like I was talking to my daughter, and she goes to class, and the professor's got the door locked, and I understand. It's not supposed to be locked by 2. Like, she was only 5 minutes late. It's supposed to be 10 minutes late. But it's like, dude, this is like, people are going to have some crap to say about this. But it's like, dude, you're fucking here to teach me. It's like, you're not paying me to come to your class. I'm paying you to teach me. Anyway, that's how I felt in college. So, and that's, I know that's such a terrible thing to say, but it's like, oh my goodness. Especially when I know she's working hard, she's working, going to class, trying to get work done. It's like, dude, come on. Everybody's not the same, Whatever. So, the doctor, yes. All that stuff to say that I have to be an advocate for myself. And it can still feel overwhelming sometimes to try to figure out work-health balance. And that has always been my problem because I want MS to be like in the back of my mind, not in the front of my mind. And when it's in the forefront of my mind, like it is right now, it tends to cause me some stress. Not stress. Stress is not the right word. Anxiety, feelings of being overwhelmed, and just trying to figure out my next move, really. What is my next move, So if I just write it down, that helps. So I write down that I need to schedule these appointments, and I figured that out today, and then I need to get the doctor's note to match the appointments for work. So, okay, figure that out, right? Okay, so that's good. And the next thing is like, okay, so I was talking about trying to go out more and get out of the house a little bit, even though we're in a pandemic, and I'm vaccinated, whatever, but so I decided we're going to go to the movies. I was happy with going to the movies, right? It's dark at the movies. Why is this? I guess I gotta sit up for this damn thing. It's dark at the movies. I feel like, okay, right. I can go in, I can sit down, I can have my little space and do whatever. It's not a big deal. But then it switched from the movies to dinner. Going to dinner. Switching to dinner caused me some anxiety, and not about food, because I can always pick what I know what I'm going to eat, but deciding to go to a restaurant caused me some anxiety, right? It's like, okay, what I was going to wear to the movies doesn't seem as great going to a restaurant. I mean, it was fine. We picked a place that wasn't crowded. It was new and terrible. I'm not going to name the place. Poor place. They just opened. Maybe they'll get their act together. I don't know. That's not my problem, but I've never felt so uncomfortable going into a situation, but I know I had to just do it because that's what this whole process is about. Otherwise, I'll find myself just stuck in the house doing nothing. So, and it's not just about me, there are people around me that want to go out. So I was like, okay, go to the restaurant, and I sat there, and it was fine. I sat there and I ate. But as soon as we were done, I was ready to go. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I just couldn't get comfortable in a seat. My body just felt weird. Everything just felt so awkward and just, I don't know. And plus, this is not a terrible thing to say, right? I mean, I've always been the type of person where in every situation I'm in, anytime I go somewhere, I always felt like, I'm pretty, so it's fine. I'm pretty, I'm funny, I'm smart. So I always felt confident everywhere I went. And so now to not have that confidence going into a restaurant, that's not great. Nothing to even cause me the slightest bit of anxiety about. It did. And I was just like, okay, and I could have not gone. I could have decided to change my mind, but I was like, I can't because I'm trying to move forward and make some changes and get out of this funk or whatever. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that I did to try to make it through this whole process was going out to dinner. Even though it was not empty, and I mean, it was empty, and still, it was like nothing to even consider being the slightest bit stressed about. But it's not even about like who's around or anything. It's just about, of course, how I feel about myself. So I did it. So that was great. Yay, went out to dinner. Don't know how many more of those things I'll do. We'll see, but I did that. So that was great. That was my big accomplishment so far. And I tend to eat pretty fine, and the thing about eating, like people get so stressed about diets and stuff, and I'm just like, man, just don't eat processed food. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and, low saturated fats. I know I say that looking like this, but this isn't all from that. And it's just so funny. That's what I mean. It's like I want to get back into being a personal trainer, helping people with their eating healthy and making it fun and make sense. But I feel like they look at me and think like, how can you give me advice when you look like you? But that's just how I think. I don't know. And it is about finding somebody who will help you with those things, who's not really just trying to take your money. That's my goal. Like, I want to help people and not charge them a ton of money for it. You shouldn't have to pay all this money to find somebody who actually cares about you being healthy. Like exercising, eating healthy. Exercise doesn't have to be intense. It could just be something you enjoy doing. Going for a walk is exercise. Gardening, people say it's exercise. I want to garden, but I don't know. It's not for me. The outdoors, the bugs, all that stuff. But anything that you love to do can be. Just find something you love to do that's active. Get your heart rate up. That's exercise. Spend all this money on these gyms and all this crap because somebody says we should, and that's a bunch of BS. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yes, so day 4, I went out to dinner, been doing PT. I did feel a little bit of anxiety today, just starting the day, and I don't know why. Sometimes I wake up feeling anxious, and then, they always say symptoms of MS is anxiety, but I think anxiety comes from having MS, It's like I'm doing all this, trying to get into shape, and I will do it, and I will get into shape, and I don't know what's worse. It's like, usually you do those things, and you feel like you have control over it, but it's worse when you can get there and not have any control on it changing to something else. Control, I guess, is the thing here. The takeaway from this, it's like, yes, I'm working so hard to try to get there, but I have no control over whether or not I have another relapse. I'll do all I can. I can do every single thing that I can think to do, and still my body will. I can have a relapse, but mentally is where, as long as that's good, then the whole thing should be good, right? I think? No, that's right. That's what this is about. Mental stability, getting strong mentally so you can be strong physically, so I can be strong physically and, get to that next level. So that is it for today. Day 4. You got to see one of my cats in my face, but hopefully you won't see any more cats. And that's it. Oh, my finger. So, it's funny. I have a high tolerance for pain. I have tattoos on my head. I do the whole thing with MS, nerve pain, everything. I broke my nail. It's like this because the break is pretty far down, but it's so painful. I can deal with everything else. It's like, oh my gosh. But no, I just have it covered up for exercise today, and I just didn't want anybody asking me about it. Oh, and I also don't get offended if I'm not responding to your comments yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to look at comments. If you have my number, text me or DM me directly. I will probably take a look at them. You know, it's just that I'm not saying I don't need anyone's advice, but I'm totally doing this because I have to do something different to make these changes, and it forces me to do that. You know, I've always been one for pushing myself to the next thing, getting out of my comfort zone, and this is definitely not comfortable. So because I gotta be out here looking like this, but I will take a look at them. Don't get offended. And I'm not saying I don't need your advice, but I don't. You can give it if you want. And I appreciate you want to pray for me, and I'm not going to say don't. Hey, do what you want to do, you know. I mean, watch, don't watch, laugh, don't laugh. I hope you laugh. I like to laugh. Even on terrible days, I'm going to laugh. That's the thing. It could be like, oh my gosh, this day was so terrible, but I'm still going to laugh because there's always something funny, even on a terrible day. So, all right, I'm done.